Welcome back, everybody. Kansas City Chiefs franchise, Week 1 versus the Denver Broncos. And quite the challenge on our hands here early on in the season. The Denver Broncos last year emerged as one of the top young teams in the AFC, obviously led by that strong defense with former Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain. But you can't discredit what Bo Nix has done on the offensive end. And for Kansas City, they look to get out to a good start with Kenneth Walker making his debut as a Kansas City Chief and rookies like Mansour Delane, R. Mason Thomas. But here comes Bo Nix. And obviously the numbers don't jump out at you last year for Nix, but was a proven winner in his rookie season. And first play of the game, Nix hands to Dobbins. Dobbins fighting for yards, bounces off two tacklers, and Dobbins moves forward for a first down. 1st and 10 for Denver. Nix making adjustments at the line. Tosses to Dobbins. Dobbins throws Karlaftis on him, but is inevitably brought down by Noel Williams and Drew Tranquil. 2nd down and 13. Nix in the gun. Looking to pass here. He finds Jalen Waddle over the middle. The Broncos' new signing from Miami. Waddle looking to take that next step in his career as he's finally in a situation where he can play some winning football. Leaves the dysfunctional organization in Miami and finds some stable footing here in Denver. 3rd and 10. Nix looking long. Looking for Franklin. Noel Williams gets in the middle of it. Not what you want to see here early for Denver. Troy Franklin needs stretched out over there on the sideline. 4th and 10. Here's a punt. Brashad Smith on the return for Kansas City, looking to create some room. Smith has the edge to the 40. Smith still going, fighting forward all the way up to the 46, and that's where the Chiefs will take over as Smith looking to make a name for himself here early on in the season. But here come Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Obviously, Mahomes coming off that bad injury last season. 1st and 10 here for Mahomes. Going to kick out to Kenneth Walker. Walker in space. Makes two guys miss. Walker 20 yards on his first play as a Kansas City Chief. Here comes 1st and 10 again. Mahomes in the gun with Walker the back. Hands to Walker. Charges forward for another 16 yards on the play. 2nd and 9 for Mahomes. Dropping to pass. Mahomes in trouble. Goes down. Jonathan Cooper swallows Mahomes up like his girlfriend's iPhone. And here comes 3rd and 24 for Kansas City. Can they make something happen? Emmett Johnson has entered the game. Mahomes going to look underneath the Jalen Royals, who gets a few extra yards, but not much doing. And that'll bring up a field goal opportunity for Harrison Butker. And the kick is good. The Chiefs get off to a 3-0 lead. 1st and 10 here for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Man in motion. Nix the fake. Fires. Finds Waddle on the outside. Oh, Snead, the only man that has a chance. But Jalen Waddle is going to go the whole way. What a response from Denver as Jalen Waddle making a statement here early in his first game with the Denver Broncos. And the kick is good to make it a 7-3 game here early. One play, 74 yards in just 10 seconds for Denver. Can Kansas City respond? And all of a sudden, it's looking like it might be a track meet. Here's Brashad Smith. Brashad Smith on the outside. Smith still going. Smith goes to the 49-yard line before being brought down. And here comes Patrick Mahomes looking to respond to that electric touchdown from Jalen Waddle. And first play of the drive, Mahomes hands. Kenneth Walker finds 2. 2nd and 8 here for Kansas City. Mahomes looking to pass, finds Walker. A lot of Walker here early and brings up a 3rd and inches. 3rd down and inches. What does Andy Reid have in store here? Mahomes under center, fakes to Kenneth Walker. Mahomes on the move. Oh, but he misses Kelsey. Brings up 4th down and inches for Kansas City. What will Kansas City do here? Hands to Kenneth Walker. Walker gets the first down with ease. But with Walker getting as many touches as he has here early, that wear and tear on him is going to be something to keep an eye out for. Mahomes here, 2nd and 9, firing across the field, dangerous pass, but gets through to Travis Kelce nonetheless. And that's going to bring up a 1st down and 10 from the 14 in striking territory. Here goes Kenneth Walker on 1st down. Walker up the middle, fighting for extra yards. Another 1st down for Kenneth Walker. And you can't say enough for how efficient he's been here early on. 1st and goal here for Kansas City. Xavier Worthy, the man in motion, lines up in the backfield. Worthy looking for the edge, but he's met by Singleton. We'll bring up a 2nd and goal for Kansas City. Here's the run for Kenneth Walker. Walker fighting down to the 1-yard line. 40 yards on the ground already for Kenneth Walker. Here goes a 3rd down and goal. Walker, the man in motion. And it's going to hand to him. Walker right up the middle. Touchdown, Kansas City. And Kenneth Walker having quite the debut here early on. What an electric first quarter for the Super Bowl MVP running back. But here comes Denver, 1st and 10 from their own 30. Toss out to Dobbins. Dobbins swallowed up by rookie R. Mason Thomas. That's exciting stuff to see for Kansas City, as they have a lot of hope in this young draft class on defense of obviously Mansour Delane, Peter Woods, R. Mason Thomas, Jaden Kennedy. But here we go, 2nd and 13, fake by Nix. Nix swallowed up by the OG. Sack Nation. Chris Jones gets in on the party. Chris Jones has really embraced the veteran leadership role for this defense, really taking guys like Peter Woods under his belt. But that brings up a 3rd and 19 here for Denver. Let's see what they do. Looking to pass. Oh, it's a screen to Dobbins. Dobbins trying to fight forward, but he's brought down by Jaden Hicks and Nick Bolton, which will bring up a 4th and 12 for Denver. Denver punting once again. Here's Brashad Smith. Had the big return earlier. Can't go anywhere this time, but that will bring out Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kenneth Walker got a lot of work early on so far. Let's see if it's more of the same on this drive. 1st and 10. Another hand to Kenneth Walker. And Walker bounces to the outside like he does so well. But he takes quite the hit from Hufanga. Nonetheless, 1st down, Kansas City. And the Chiefs looking smooth offensively here early. Mahomes steps up in the pocket, finds Noah Gray. Nice play by Mahomes there. 1st and 10 for Kansas City. Brashad Smith the back. Mahomes checking at the line. Hands to Smith. Smith up the middle. Smith fights off one tackler. And that's going to be another 1st down for Kansas City. They're moving the ball well here early. A run game is looking really solid, which hasn't been able to be said in years prior for this Chiefs team. Like I mentioned in episode 1, Mahomes was the lead rusher for the Chiefs last season, but Kenneth Walker looking to change that this year. Mahomes going to try and get the defense to jump off sides, but he'll let it tick down. And what a good first quarter here so far. Kenneth Walker really proving to be worth that contract that he received way back in March. 1st and 10 here for Kansas City. First play of the second quarter. Mahomes hands to Rashee Rice. Rice has the edge. Rashee Rice. What a play for Kansas City. And the Chiefs will jump out to a 17-7 lead here early on. Rashee Rice looking to get back to that form we saw him in his rookie season. He's obviously dealt with injuries and off-the-field stuff, but a good sign here in week 1 for Rashee. Here comes Denver looking to respond. What do they have in store here on 1st down? Bo Nix under center, hands to J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins fights forward for about 3. 2nd and 7, Sutton in motion. Is he going to orbit around Nix and Dobbins? Fake to Dobbins. Nix slides in the pocket, finds Jalen Waddle, who beats Noel Williams in coverage. Good play for Denver, moves the sticks. And after a short run on 1st down here, 2nd down and 9 for Denver. R.J. Harvey the back. Fake to Harvey. Nix slings it. He's able to connect with Pat Bryant over the middle. The young receiver. Nix on first down. He's going to turn and fire to Waddle. Waddle throws the defender off of him. And Waddle, 111 yards here so far in the first half. Here's Nix in the gun, 2nd and 7. What does Nix have in store? Nix tries to step up, and he's brought down by R. Mason Thomas. What a play by the rookie. The Chiefs have high hopes for the edge rusher out of Oklahoma, but here's 3rd and 13 for Nix. Sliding in the pocket, finds a man over the middle, but what a pop. Shamari Connor with the huge hit on Cortland Sutton to bring up 4th down, and the field goal try for Denver is good. So it'll make it a 17-10 game here in the second quarter. Hand off to Walker. Walker bounces it back inside, runs over Pat Surtain, and what a first half so far for Kenneth Walker. 85 yards on just 9 carries. He's also got about 15, 16 yards through the air. Play fake on first down for Mahomes. Finds Cyrus Allen. Allen bounces off a tackler and gains about 9. A 2nd and very short for Kansas City as Eric DeMarcado enters the game, and he's going to get his first carry, and it's a nice gain of about 8 to 9 yards and another Chiefs first down. Walker back in as the back in single back formation. Mahomes hands, but Nick Bonito comes off the edge and makes a huge stop for Denver, bringing up a 2nd and 9 for Kansas City. Mahomes drops to pass. Mahomes rocked. Oh, it's picked off. Brandon Jones, right place, right time for Denver. And that's a huge shift in momentum as the Denver Broncos now can make it a tie ball game if they drive down and convert on this opportunity. Good hit by Singleton, and Brandon Jones just happened to be in the right place to find that loose change. And that's going to give Denver a chance to really flip the momentum of this ball game. 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line. Waddle, the man in motion. Nix is going to hand to Dobbins. Dobbins gets about 9 before being brought down by Drew Tranquil. 2nd and inches for Denver. Nix in the eye, checking at the line. Drops to pass, finds Waddle over the middle once again. Jalen Waddle's eating this Chiefs secondary alive. 1st and 10 for Denver. Hands to J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins breaks off a couple tacklers before being met by rookie Mansour Delane, getting involved in the action. Here comes Nix, 2nd and 16. What can he do? Nix fires, and it's picked off. Jaden Kennedy. Mansour Delane gets in the backfield, last play, and here's your other rookie defensive back, Jaden Kennedy, jumping the corner route. What a play. This is the Chiefs defense that desperately needed playmakers to step up after trading away Trent McDuffie. And here come the Chiefs. Brashad Smith up the middle, gets about 5. Kenneth Walker back into the game. Mahomes drops to pass. Mahomes steps up, running, takes off, and slides. Scary to see after his injury, but he takes care of himself and gets down. And Brashad Smith has a forearm injury that we will be monitoring the rest of the way. Kenneth Walker will remain the back. Haven't seen a lot of Emmett Johnson just yet, but here's Mahomes on 2nd and 10, finds Rice. He's going to pick up about 4 yards for Kansas City and bring up a 3rd down and 6 for Kansas City. Emmett Johnson is in the game, and he makes a man miss in open field. Emmett Johnson, what a play. The youth is coming alive here in Kansas City. Mahomes, the fake to Brashad Smith, who seems to be okay for the moment, steps up and throws it out of harm's way. That brings up 2nd and 10 for Kansas City from their own 48. Mahomes drops to pass, fires over the middle, finds Travis Kelce for another Chiefs first down. Kenneth Walker returns to the game. Mahomes in single back formation with Kelce in the slot. Brinkstool also in the game. 3 tight end set for Kansas City. Here's Walker. Those big bodies cleared the way for Walker. Over 100 yards in this first half already. Kelce out in the slot. The man in motion is Kelce. Brashad Smith the back. We're going to hand to Smith. Smith finds the seam. Touchdown. The Kansas City Chiefs turned what could have been a disaster with that Mahomes interception. They get off the field, and now they go up 14 here before halftime. Here come Bo Nix. Nix, the pitch out to Cortland Sutton, and he's brought down by Alohi Gilman. Here comes Nix, 2nd and 10 after a no-gain play on first down. Nix slides in the pocket, steps up, fires, and it's broken up. Jaden Kennedy can't stop making plays. And here come the Broncos on 3rd down. What do they have in store here? Dobbins, the man in motion. Nix drops to pass, slides in the pocket, slings it, and it's broken up by Drew Tranquil. Dobbins the intended target. And that's going to bring us down to the 2-minute warning where Kansas City is up 14. A high-scoring affair here early. Let's see if they can keep this pacing up. Here's Mahomes on first down in the gun with Smith the back. Mahomes fires, lollipops it. Oh, no. 2 first-half interceptions for Patrick Mahomes. The Broncos are a team that's had Mahomes' number in the past, more specifically Justin Simmons. He's no longer here, but the Broncos still creating turnovers. And here come Denver on the 36-yard line with a chance to strike before halftime. Nix fires underneath the Sutton, and he's brought down after a 6-yard gain. Broncos going hurry up here in the eye. Nix hands to Dobbins. Dobbins going forward up to the 19-yard line. Denver still up tempo here. Bo Nix in the gun. Fires over the middle. Finds Cortland Sutton, but he's tripped up by Jaden Hicks. What a play by him. And we're going to get a timeout here from Denver as they look over what they're going to do on 2nd and 5. Here they come. Nix in the gun. Dobbins the man in motion. Nix hands to Dobbins. Dobbins up the middle. Dobbins fighting forward before being hit hard by Hicks. That's another first down for Denver. 1st and goal. 40 seconds left in the half here. Denver at the 7-yard line. Dobbins motions out. Nix in the gun. Looking to pass. Nix taking off. Oh, he's hit hard by Jaden Hicks. Mansour Delane picks up the football. No one to catch him. Mansour Delane, the rookie. The 6th overall pick in the draft, goes for 6. In his debut, the Chiefs go up 31-10, and it's not even halftime yet. What an electric game so far here in Kansas City. As you see, R. Mason Thomas and Mansour Delane sharing a moment there on the bench. And here comes Denver with 20 seconds. Can they do anything before halftime to give themselves a puncher's chance when we kick off again? And here comes Dobbins. Dobbins stays in bounds, however, so Denver will have to burn that last time out. And here comes Nix. Play fake. I don't know who would bite on that in this scenario. Nix fires. Oh, my. Jalen Waddle disregards Jaden Kennedy. And Denver is going to get 3 here before halftime, pending a kick, and it is good. So we're going to head into halftime. Chiefs 31, Denver Broncos 13. What a first half so far in Kansas City. Taking a look at some of the premier matchups around the league. Here we have a Super Bowl rematch, and Sam Darnold finds his man in the back of the end zone. The Seahawks come out on top 23-17. Darnold threw the ball 48 times. And we head to Cincy, where the Bengals looking to get a win here early in the season, and they do just that. They usually struggle out the gate, but Joe Burrow is insistent that that won't happen again this year. 24-17 against the Buccaneers for Cincinnati. And our impact player of the week so far in week 1 is going to be none other than Dak Prescott. He lit it up against the Giants, 26 of 34, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns. What a debut season game for Dak Prescott, as Jackson Dart didn't have too shabby of a game himself. And other scores around the league, notable wins. The Chargers get the win over Arizona. And I don't know if you also saw, but the Commanders upset Philly in Philly. And here in our game in Kansas City, Jalen Waddle has been terrorizing this secondary. but it hasn't been quite enough for Denver as they still remain down 31-13 here early. The Chiefs will continue to build upon that run game that they established early. Kenneth Walker, 12 carries for 130 yards himself. And the Chiefs have to be happy with that first half. And they look to build upon that, and not only this half, but the rest of the season, as Brashad Smith fields the return. Smith working towards the outside, bounces it back in. Smith, nursing that forearm injury, looks to be okay as he stays in at running back. After a short 2-yard gain on first down, here's Smith swallowed up again by Cooper. And 3rd down and 12, Kenneth Walker the back. He's going to be the man in motion. Mahomes slings it to him. Walker in space. Gets around the first guy. Gains about 9 yards. And it's going to bring up a 4th down. And the Chiefs punt it away to Bo Nix. He's had a tough day so far. He's got the ball to Jalen Waddle well. But outside of that, it hasn't been much. As he's taken a lot of hits. And turned the ball over a couple times. The game's not out of reach, though, for Denver. 1st and 10. Nix drops to pass. Nix steps up in the pocket. Noel Williams with excellent coverage on Cortland Sutton. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 for Denver. Nix hands to Dobbins. Dobbins gets to the 2nd level, and he's brought down after picking up a 1st down. Here come Denver. Nix hands to Dobbins to the outside, where he's eventually met by Nick Bolton for no gain. And that brings up a 3rd down and 11. What do the Broncos have in store here? Nix slides in the pocket, evades the rookie. Oh my! Cortland Sutton had it, and he took his eye off the football. What a play by Nix. But no cigar, as the Broncos have to punt it back to Kansas City. Here is Brashad Smith. What a move by Smith. Smith has space. Smith finally brought down at the 46. But giving his team great field position once again. And here come the Chiefs. Let's see what the Chiefs have going on here on 1st down and 10. Mahomes swings it out to Allen. Allen stiff arms Cooper and picks up about 5 before going out of bounds. Johnson remains in the game in the backfield. Takes the carry, fighting forward for about 4 yards before being brought down short of the marker, which brings up a 3rd down and 1 for Kansas City. Mahomes fires out to Worthy. Worthy's got space. Worthy, 2 men to beat, and he does. Xavier Worthy. He showed off some jump ball ability in the preseason, but there's that speed, there's that calling card. What a play for Worthy, and we'd love to see a lot more of that as the season goes on, for sure. Maybe a couple less flips, though. Denver is reeling. It's do or die time for them. The game is almost getting out of hand. Down 25 here in the 3rd quarter. He swings it out wide, and Noel Williams bats that one down. That brings up a 2nd and 10 here for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Nix fakes to Harvey, staying in that pocket. Nix over the middle, and that's excellent coverage from Noel Williams once again, guarding Jalen Waddle that time. And Nix empties the backfield, sends Dobbins out wide, steps up in the pocket, and Jalen Waddle hangs on to that one to move the sticks. 1st and 10 here for Denver. What does Nix have up his sleeve this play? Stays in the pocket, finds Waddle again, who beat Delane on the play. Eventually brought down by Gilman and Delane. Strong formation here for Denver. Nix fakes to Dobbins. Oh, he's crushed. Bo Nix, 3rd turnover of the day. Scooped up by R. Mason Thomas. And Denver not doing themselves any favors. 1st and 10 here for Kansas City. Emmett Johnson bouncing around for 4 yards before being brought down. 2nd and 6. Johnson remains the back. Kenneth Walker, I believe, is a little banged up right now. We'll learn more about that in just a little. But here comes Johnson. Oh, tackled before he could even tell him his name. And here is Mahomes on 3rd down and 9. Mahomes sliding in the pocket, and he's brought down. And up 25 here in the 3rd quarter. Andy Reid elects to punt. in plus territory, which gives Bo Nix the ball once again, still down 25. Finds Evan Ingram over the middle, gets up to about the 47-yard line before being brought down. Here is Nix on first down and 10. Man in motion is Ingram. Here's Nix. He drops to fire on the move, and he throws it out of bounds out of harm's way. 2nd and 10 here for Denver. What can Nix do here? It's do or die time. They need to score. Dobbins pushed backwards. Peter Woods. He just mauled one of the best guards in football and made a play in the backfield. You love to see that from your first-round rookie defensive tackle. And here he is on 3rd and 13. Nix steps up in the pocket, and he finds Jalen Waddle, who's been giving Delane Fitz. Oh, what blocks downfield? Jalen Waddle is going to turn nothing into something. And Denver, just like that, is only down 18 here. Jalen Waddle got to be close to 200 yards on the day by now, giving the defensive secondary absolute nightmares. Hopefully this isn't an issue that continues with number 1 receivers. Snead's got to make that tackle, but back out come the Kansas City Chiefs. Kenneth Walker, they're showing him off here, but unfortunately I believe he is still a little banged up. Brashad Smith is still working with that forearm injury he had earlier in the game as well. So Emmett Johnson will probably get a lot of touches here down the stretch. Mahomes fires over the middle. Cyrus Allen fights forward. Allen has shown a lot of yards after catch potential here early. Here's Johnson, bounces it up the middle, and gets about 1 yard before being brought down. Brashad Smith re-enters the game, 2nd and 9, and he's going nowhere. Brings up a 3rd and 12 for Kansas City. What can they do here? Mahomes steps up in the pocket, takes off, slides down to protect himself. Another first down run for Patrick Mahomes. And now Brashad Smith is dealing with rib injuries. Can't catch a break, but here's Emmett Johnson, another good spin move. Fakes out Pat Surtain, another first down for Kansas City. Johnson remains the back, takes the handoff here, gains a few yards before being brought down. And Brashad Smith fighting to stay in this game. He's going to take the carry, but knowing all the injuries he's dealing with, he goes down. And in comes Eric DeMarcado, now the 4th running back to get carries for the Chiefs, and he picks up a first down. And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. 38-20 so far here in Kansas City. A lot of turnovers, 5 combined between the teams. Sloppy week 1 play. 1st and 10 for Kansas City. Emmett Johnson, the back, takes the handoff up the middle, gains about 4 yards before being brought down. 2nd and 6 here. Mahomes the fake, and he's brought down. 4th sack of the game for Denver. It's Mahomes obviously not able to evade the pressure as good as he hopes to with that injury from last season. But here he does find Noah Gray. Gets a first down on 3rd down and 11 to keep the drive moving. Mahomes, Johnson the back. Here he is. Hands it. Johnson up the middle. Hurdles. Johnson gets into the end zone. The 2nd rookie to score for Kansas City today. And what a youth movement they've got out of this last draft class. Brett Veach might have done it again. 13 plays, 71 yards for Kansas City. And here's Butker to kick it off. R.J. Harvey, the return man, looking to give Denver a spark. And here goes Harvey. Harvey, one man misses. Oh, but he's crushed by Cochran at the 45, which brings out Bo Nix. Not terrible on paper, but then you think about those 3 turnovers that he has, and you kind of grimace a little bit. But here comes Nix, the touch pass, and that looked like it could have been a face mask. It will be. So a face mask against Jaden Hicks moves the Broncos forward 15 yards and an automatic first down. Denver, if they want anything to do with a victory this week, they need to do something now. Here's a good start across the middle to Evan Ingram before eventually being brought down by Noel Williams. Nix in the gun, hands to Dobbins. Mason Thomas finally brings him down. Not a lot of time to run the football if you're Denver. You kind of need to air it out and make some plays. Another good throw by Nix. He's made some impressive passes as R. Mason Thomas unfortunately does go down with some sort of elbow injury, it appears. Sutton, the man in motion for Denver. Nix hands to Dobbins. Dobbins swallowed up by Peter Woods. Once again, you can't say enough about this Chiefs rookie class so far. And it looks like R. Mason Thomas is going to be just okay. Just going to miss a couple plays here. Oh, what a catch by Jalen Waddle. Mansour Delane has not had the best day in coverage against him. Maybe those smaller, quicker guys are going to give him some problems. Oh, good screen pass there to J.K. Dobbins in Denver. Although it still seems a little far-fetched, they might have hope. An efficient 6-play, 57-yard drive for Denver. Cuts the lead to 18 with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Denver's going to kick it off. Jalen Royals will be the return man here for Kansas City with Brashad Smith injured. Here goes Royals up the middle, and Jalen Royals. A look at the upcoming schedule for Kansas City. They head to Indianapolis next week. Then they host Miami and Vegas the following weeks. A pretty soft open to the season outside of Denver for Kansas City. But for Mahomes rehabbing off that injury, it might be exactly what he needs. Here he is taking off and slides down to protect himself. Brings up a 2nd and 4 here for Kansas City. Emmett Johnson remains the back. Looks like they're being pretty cautious with Kenneth Walker's injury at the moment. And on 3rd down and 1, Emmett Johnson is going to burst to the outside and pick it up for Kansas City, moving the ball to the Denver 40-yard line. And on 1st down, Mahomes is going to drop to pass even with the big lead. Mahomes steps up in the pocket and finds Tyquan Thornton. What a play by Mahomes. Climbs the ladder and threads the needle to one of his top targets from last season, looking to replicate that success. Working against Pat Surtain is no easy task. And that'll bring up a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line for Kansas City. Emmett Johnson working up the field. Finally brought down by Nick Benito, who seems to be everywhere for Denver. Gets the ball to the 6-yard line for Kansas City. Kelsey, the man in motion. Mahomes pitches to Kelsey. Kelsey brought down in open field. What a play by the smaller defensive back there. And that'll bring up a 3rd and goal for Kansas City. What does Mahomes have in store here? Oh, Mahomes is brought down all the way back at the 14-yard line. And that'll bring out Harrison Butker, looking to add 3 points to their cushion and make it a 21-point ball game here late. The offense for Kansas City has slowed down a tad since the second half began. But here comes R.J. Harvey. Oh my! Not done fighting. Harvey makes the last man miss. Beanie Bishop completely whiffed, and R.J. Harvey gets in the end zone. Denver won't go away here in Kansas City. 1st and 10 here. Mahomes hands to DeMercado. Not much going on there. Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Chiefs. Mahomes hands to Johnson. And it's a 3rd down and 13. What will Kansas City do here? Denver not quite giving up yet. They have made some comebacks as a unit. You think of that game against the Giants last season, and that one hits home with me because I had a lot of money on New York that day. And after yet another play goes nowhere for Kansas City, they're going to punt it away. And here comes R.J. Harvey looking to give his team another boost. Here he comes, and he's finally brought down. 1st and 10 for Denver. Nix in the gun, Sutton the man in motion. We've seen this orbit motion a few times for them. This time it's a fake to Dobbins. Still swings it out to Cortland Sutton. Makes one man miss before being rocked by Mansour Delane. What a hit by the rookie. The tackling in open space has looked great for Delane. The coverage still needs to improve. And there's J.K. Dobbins gashing up the middle. But the clock is ticking for Denver if they want any chance at a comeback. 1st and 10 from the 36. Down 14 with 3 minutes to go here. Dobbins brought down by Drew Tranquill. Denver in the no huddle, looking to save as much time as possible. Nix fires. Oh my, good ball again from Bo Nix. Finds Troy Franklin outside the numbers. It's going to be another Broncos first down here late. And if they can score here quickly, they're going to have a chance. And Peter Woods gets in the backfield, just forces Nix to throw that one away. 2nd and 10 here for Denver. Nix in the gun. He's going to drop to pass. Oh, he finds Jalen Waddle. Waddle, what a catch, and evades his defender midair. That's going to bring up a 1st and goal for the Broncos. Still in that hurry-up offense. Nix making some changes at the lines. Drops to throw. Fires. And Troy Franklin gets the best of Jaden Kennedy on the outside that time. Good to see Franklin back in the game and healthy. But now it's time for the Chiefs to make some plays here down the stretch. You can no longer just sit on the football. And here comes Patrick Mahomes looking to put this game away. Oh, we got a broken play on 1st down. Not going to go anywhere. Kenneth Walker is back in the game to try and secure this victory for the Chiefs. And even he is going to get stopped short after no gain. 3rd down and 10. Denver desperately needs to get off the field to have a chance here. Mahomes going to drop to fire. Pressure's coming. Hit. And he finds who else? Travis Kelce. When Mahomes needs a reliable target, you know who he's going to. And one more 1st down. And the Chiefs will walk out of here with a win in Week 1. Denver has no timeouts remaining. 4 yards on 1st down for Kenneth Walker. What a play from Mahomes to Kelce as we hit the 2-minute warning. In comes Eric DeMercado here, looking to get a nice gain. Here it is. That's it. The Chiefs can now kneel it out. A hard-fought victory here in Kansas City. An absolute barn burner in Week 1 on Monday night. It wasn't always pretty. 5 turnovers between the two teams, but they combined for 89 points in Week 1. What a game from Bo Nix. Despite the 3 turnovers, he did his best to bring his guys back, and Mahomes got it done when it mattered most. Wasn't always the prettiest day for him either. When you look at the stats on the day, Bo Nix, 379 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Mahomes, 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And when you look at the run game, Dobbins was killing early. But you look at the Chiefs, Kenneth Walker, 115 yards on the ground alone. Emmett Johnson had 50 rushing yards. Brashad Smith had 42 himself. Mahomes and DeMercado added another 50. The receiving numbers aren't too gaudy. It was a lot of guys catching a lot of passes. Look to probably get Rashee Rice the ball a little more in week number 2, as he has already kind of complained about his role in preseason. And defensively, Jaden Hicks was all over the field. 11 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a sack. Chris Jones had 1 sack on the day. Jaden Kennedy had a sack. R. Mason Thomas made some plays. Peter Woods had a couple TFLs. George Karlaftis was in the backfield a couple times. You cannot say enough about that Chiefs defense. Despite giving up 41 points when they needed the plays most, they made them. And Mansour Delane got beaten coverage a lot early on, but he fought through, made some tackles when they needed them the most. And in the return game, Royals and Brashad Smith were spectacular in both the punt and kick return department. And some of these upgrades after the game, we're going to go speed rusher for George Karlaftis. We're looking to make him a more well-balanced attack on defense. Mansour Delane, we are going to work on some of that zone coverage for him as well. Hopefully he doesn't get beat as bad as the season progresses. Emmett Johnson, we're going to go power back. He's already a pretty strong guy, but that +3 break tackle is definitely going to be felt going forward. And for Khalil Benson, we're going to head that into pass protector, being our starting right tackle. +4 pass block for Khalil Benson is huge, as Jonathan Taylor signs a contract extension with the Colts. And that's going to do it for this episode of Madden 27. Kansas City Chiefs defending the Dynasty franchise. Things to look forward to in next episode. Rashee Rice wants to talk contract extension, and so does Shamari Connor. And then we take on the newly re-signed Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones coming off an injury. We'll see how he performs. They lose Michael Pittman, so Alec Pierce is now their number one guy. It should be a very exciting game next week, and quite the challenge for this Chiefs team. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.